Hi, Dr. Paul Donovan, and today I'm discussing another power problem. Thanks to Julie Diamond and her great work. The one I'm going to discuss today is avoiding conflict and difficult conversations. In this power problem, managers use their power, in fact, to redirect group conversations away from topics that could be stressful. But that's not the only thing they do. Managers here who experience this power problem often find difficulty in holding others accountable, will not hold their group to deadlines, will not hold standards of performance. Why? Because they can be difficult conversations that are tense and stressful. So they're using their power, in fact, to avoid those difficult conversations. Sometimes power problems are where the boss doesn't use enough power. And so in other cases, like for instance, micromanaging, they might be using too much. Here they're not using enough, but it's equally as problematic. So what to do about it? Well, this in fact was the point of focus for my whole doctorate study. What do you do as a manager who has previously avoided difficult conversations, redirected group conversations from unwanted topics, and ultimately created lots of undiscussable topics for your team? So, number one, become aware of where you become tense and when you become tense. You see, as managers who have this power problem, you may be tempted to jump over that step and engage in your pattern of avoiding conversations out of that tension. Slow it down. Become aware of when and where you're becoming tense in the conversation. From there, I'd invite you to bring your tension into the conversation. So that's the stretch. That's the edge for this manager, is to bring their tension into the conversation. So if there's something that's happening that you're uncomfortable with, raise it. Practice bringing it into the collective conversation of your group or into your one-on-ones. If you're uncomfortable with a particular piece of work, raise your discomfort with it and make that your practice. You'll do that instead of gliding over it, glazing over it, and avoiding. When we do this as managers, we lift the standards of those around us and we achieve something that we think could be impossible. We've raised a difficult conversation, we've raised a difficult topic, but in doing so, I want to promise you will lift the engagement levels of those around you. Giving direct and unambiguous feedback to the most talented employees is what they long for most. Gallup made this absolutely clear. Surveys with over 1 million managers showed that when you give direct, unambiguous feedback about performance to your most productive, your most talented performers, they get more engaged. They actually lift their performance. So now I'm speaking directly to the fears of those managers who demonstrate this particular kind of power problem. So in summary, for those of us who have this power problem of avoiding conflict and difficult conversations, here are the steps. First, become aware of your own tension. Don't glaze over it. Don't jump over that step. Become aware of your own tensions or anxieties. Second, non-blamefully, bring those feelings into the conversation. Take responsibility for your own feelings. Don't blame others, but use it as a means of deepening the conversation you're in. And so those feelings are your guide. You'll know where you need to go in your conversation by paying attention to what you're anxious about. Use it as a guide and bring that into your conversation. The third thing is, I want to remind yourself that when you do this, you will be engaging your team, not disengaging them. The fear is that you will disengage them. The fear is that you'll suppress or bruise the relationship. You won't, you will engage them. I'd encourage you to get help. Find a coach who can support you. Most of us can't do this stuff on our own. These are inbuilt behavioral patterns that have become entrenched over years. I myself have a coach, and I don't know what I'd do without her. I'd encourage you to get a coach to support you to disengage yourself from this power problem of avoiding difficult conversations and avoiding conflict. So you may find yourself in this particular power problem. Perhaps you see yourself in it. or maybe others. Check out our other videos for the power problems we discuss that managers can experience. Thanks.